Today is yoga for strength. We're going to work on focus today. So we're really going to try and focus in on muscle groups and bring all of our awareness to muscle groups. It's a practice not only about learning that mind-body connection, but also finding your muscles and teaching your mind to focus on one thing rather than all of the things around you. So we're going to start down on your stomach in crocodile pose. So down on your stomach, one hand on top of another, and forehead down, just starting to land on the mat. Starting to let go. Starting to arrive in present moment. So what can you bring your focus to? What comes up first? Physical ailments, energetic feeling, maybe your thoughts or what your focus is drawn to first. Just notice. And then gently bring your awareness to your breath and notice if it's difficult to breathe with your face down, if you feel some tension when you turn yourself face down. Whenever we bring these questions and inquiries in, there are no right or wrong answers. There are different answers for different people. Start to see if you can release some of the tension around the shoulders, around the back. If you hold tension in your low back, see if you can start to soften the muscles of the low back. And for today's practice, if you'd like to set an intention, make it something to do with focus. You can simply make an intention of I am here now, or I will remain focused. Not that you're going to beat yourself up about when your mind drags you off your mat, but that you're just going to remember and notice when your mind's pulled you away off the mat. You're just going to gently bring your awareness back to the point in our body that we're focusing on. And then we're going to begin to work the muscles of the legs, slow and gentle to start. So just begin to fire up the muscles of the legs. So fire up, squeeze the muscles of the legs, and then let go. Starting to just locate all the muscles of the legs, maybe pressing the tops of the feet into the ground and firing up the glutes a little. And then letting go. Little pulses on and off, just finding the muscles, connecting with the muscle groups. And then leaving the left foot pressed down into the mat, slowly draw the right heel towards the glute as if you're trying to find the muscles that make this movement happen. And then draw the foot back towards the ground. Nice and slow. Try to make this movement entirely in the leg. So we're not moving our hips around to get our heel closer to the glute. We're just trying to find the back of the leg. And you can move with the breath. Inhale as you draw the heel in. Exhale as you slowly pull the heel back to the ground. And then lower the right foot, push the top of the foot into the ground. Keeping the hips still, slowly draw the left heel to the glute, and then back. See if you can feel the muscles of the foot as well as the leg. And then return the left foot to the ground, and we're going to start to work with the entire muscles of the back line. So thinking about lifting the shoulders and begin small. Inhale as you lift the shoulders. Exhale as you lower. Hands can balance. Hands can be on the ground to support. Or you can start to lift the hands up. Think about lifting the shoulders and getting long from the tailbone to the crown of the head rather than a big arch, and pulling the skull backwards. And start to build upon it, making lifting up your toes, firing up the glutes, the back of the legs. And trying not to over-focus on any one muscle group. So trying to use the glutes, the backs of the legs, the upper back, lower back, all evenly. Move with the breath. And then bring it back to crocodile. Shimmy the hips to make sure everything's nice and soft and loose. And then we're going to come up to Sphinx pose. Rather than pulling our elbows directly under the shoulders, give your shoulders some space and take the elbows a little ahead of the shoulders and fire up the arms. So we're going to push the hands into the ground and imagine we're pulling the elbows apart without letting them move. Watch for yanking the head back and making no space for your neck. And then start to imagine you're pressing your stomach down and pulling your chest through your shoulders. Breathe. And then bringing yourself slowly back to a child's pose. Little reset. Think about space across the lower back. Connecting with your breath. Remaining on the mat. And then come on up to a tabletop position. We're going to move and breathe in our tabletop, but take your hands into a different position than what you always regularly take them. So change it up, maybe a little wider, maybe closer together, further apart, further away from the knees. Inhale forward and exhale back towards a child. Move with your breath. And as we move with simple movement, perhaps returning to your intention, repeating it to yourself in a sing-song voice, and you can say it out loud or you can say it in your head. Coming up to a tabletop, this time bring your forearms back down to the ground and find that base again. So press your hands into the ground and feel like you're pulling your shoulders apart. Fire up the front of the shoulders, the chest. We're going to take little tiny movements here. Lots of focus in on the muscles of the shoulders. We're going to slowly draw our nose a teeny bit forward and then a little bit back. Trying to make this movement entirely in the arms and shoulders. And then either return to a tabletop, or if you would like the challenge, you're going to slowly peel the elbows up. Slow, slow, slow. Return to a neutral tabletop, and then tuck your toes in a down dog. Warm up your down dog in whatever way feels right for you. And then find the stillness of down dog. Focus on the crown of the head. And imagine all of your distractions could come to the crown of your head and slowly drop towards the mat. We're going to move and breathe in down dog. So lots of focus to keep yourself safe. Stay with your muscle groups. Be strong in the arms and shoulders. Slowly lift the right heel towards the sky. Press the heel towards the ceiling. Get really strong in the arms and shoulders. We're going to inhale as the leg is long. Exhale as we bend the knee and bring it towards the right arm. So up above the elbow. Inhale long. Exhale towards the right arm. Move with your breath. Make this movement as large or as small as you need. Stay really focused in the muscles, strengthening the arms and shoulders. The leg is not flopping, it's engaged. Bring it forward, see if you can hover the knee up. Breathe. And then step through low lunge. We're going to move and breathe in the low lunge position. Inhaling forward. Exhale towards a straight leg on the right leg, front leg. Take any movements, angles. Explore the muscles of your legs, both legs engaged. Land in a strong low lunge, both legs really strongly engaged. Imagine you're pulling the feet towards each other without letting them move. Maybe lift your torso a little more off the leg, a little longer in the spine. And then inhale as we rise up, high lunge. You can hold your arms up or bring your hands to prayer. We're going to bring our focus onto the front foot. You may need to step the back foot in for balance. We're going to slowly peel the heel up and lower. Keeping our focus entirely in the legs and trying to keep the rest of the body still. So you have to stay super engaged. Lower the heel, frame out the front foot. Step back, plank pose, and then straight to down dog. Find your down dog, reset. Strong base in arms and shoulders. Slowly lift the left heel to the ceiling. Inhale long, exhale, bring the knee towards the upper arm on the left side. Inhale long, exhale forward. See if you can start to get a little bit of a cat shape. So drawing the sternum towards the ceiling. Bring the knee closer and closer towards the arm. Draw the knee forward, hover, lift up out of the ground, and then step through the lunge. Inhaling forward, bent knee, exhale back towards a straight leg. Look down at your feet, or you're gripping with your toes. Every time your mind pulls you off the mat, return to a muscle. See if you can feel a particular muscle as you move. Notice as you look at your body, if you start to have that little inner critic, noticing wrinkles or noticing things about your body perhaps that you judge. And then find a steady low lunge. Both legs very engaged, longer in the torso. Inhale, rise up, high lunge. And then option for your hands to remain up or hands of prayer. Pull the heel of the left foot up, nice and slow, and down. Trying to remain as still as possible and not worrying about how high the heel comes, but worrying about keeping the rest of the body super stable and staying in the muscles. Lower the heel, frame out the front foot. Left foot meets right, high plank, down dog. Find your breath. We're going to move in, practicing into yogi squat pose. So we're going to look at our hands. We're going to bend both knees. We're going to step right foot to right hand, outside of right hand. Left foot to left hand, and then step it back to down dog. So nice and slow, working the muscles. Step forward, and then step back. Starting with the right side. Moving slow, feeling the muscles of your legs. And then switch sides, starting to bring the left foot forward first and the right foot forward next. And then on your last time, leave your feet where they are. Maybe grab your block. Start to wiggle the hips down towards yogi squat. Take your time, lift the feet, move around, feel your hips until maybe you can start to lift the torso and come down to a squat. Feel free to keep some of the weight on your block. Peel the knees open, so push the knees open with the muscles of the legs. Hold. Pressing through the heels. Inhale as you rise all the way up, arms overhead. Exhale, prayer to heart. Connect with your breath. Inhale, open. Exhale, prayer to heart. One more time. Stand in a wide leg mountain pose. Notice the body. Notice if your knees are locked, your glutes are too tight, your shoulders clamping, face soft. And we're going to take a big step back and open up to star pose. So heels in, toes out. We're going to inhale, star pose. A little bit complicated, this movement. We're moving. We're going to take right arm across the body as we take right arm behind the right leg. Inhale back to star and the other way. Left arm across the body, left leg behind. Start to move nice and slow. Inhale, open. Exhale, cross. As you start to feel this, you want your left hand, left leg as far away as possible, opening up left side body. Inhale. Exhale, cross and open. Think about opening the rib cage on either side of the body. Staying present with what is there. Watch for tension in the neck. Try to remain soft in the face. And then return to star and sink down to goddess. Hold in a goddess pose, set up. So don't go so low that you can't hold here for a while. We're going to be here for a while. Nice and strong in the legs. Peel the knees open with the muscles of the legs. Slowly peel one heel at a time up and down, one at a time. Lower both heels. Send the hips a little bit backwards, torso a little bit forwards. We're going to take ourselves over towards the left knee, and we're going to peel up the heel now. So feel different muscles move the heel. Nice and slow. Hands can remain in prayer, or you can place them on your hips so that you know your hips are stable. And you're bringing all the focus in to this left leg. Maybe beginning to challenge yourself and lower. Ooh, see the pulses and wobbles. Lower your torso a little more over the leg. Go slow and mindful, thinking about the muscles to support the joints. Lower the heel, bring yourself back to a star pose. Give it a little shake and notice left and right sides. Sink it down to a small goddess, hips back a little further, and turn towards the right knee. Find your base, get really strong, and then slowly pull up this heel. This movement does not have to be big, just looking to find the muscles in the leg. And then maybe challenging yourself and bringing the torso a little further towards that knee. Slowly bring it back to star. Give the legs a little shake. We're going back over towards the left leg. And this time we're going to peel up the heel. Go slow and mindful with this movement. We're going to turn the heel in. So pull it towards center and then back. Pull towards center and then back. The lower you come, the more difficult this is with the torso, but go slow. Maybe starting to feel muscles of the inner thigh as you pull the knee back and pull the heel in. Soften the face, soft breath, and turn to star. Give a little reset, and then over to the other side. Setting up, torso over, lift the heel, draw it in, and then back. It's a tiny, tiny movement. See how focused you can become. Notice if you're gripping with the toes. Try to remain balanced with the muscles of the legs rather than your face, your low back, or your toes. And then return to star. Reset. This time we're going to sink down to goddess and hold. So find the position you can hold. This time maybe you can pull your knees a little bit more open. Hold. Now we're going to work on the sides of our torso. We're going to take our right hand behind the right leg. We're going to think about engaging the oblique muscles and then press the torso down and up. Down and up. You can even bring your left hand to the side of the torso, really reminding yourself which muscles to keep focus on and reminding your base to be still. Keep your legs still and solid. Don't take this into the lower back. Come back to center, switch sides. Left hand behind left leg. Reach and pull back. Slow. This reminds me of the teapot. I'm a little teapot when we were kids. I'm a little teapot. And then reach up, star pose. Give your legs a little shake. Really, really shake it out. Loosen and soften. Notice what's present. Step forward to mountain pose at the front of your mat, top of your mat. And connect with the breath. Inhale up. Exhale, hard to hard. 3 times. Stand in mountain pose, your hands of prayer, and close your eyes if it's comfortable for you. Feel your toes on the mat. In our practice, we often practice the number 3. It's a number that is common in many religions and many practices. Think about what it might mean for you. It could be simple as your past, your present, and your future. Thinking about honoring the past, letting go of the future, and returning to the present. And then interlacing the fingers, all but the index finger. Press the fingers up. And we're going to take our fingers over to the right, so making a big banana shape on the ground. Opening up left side body. And you can hold here if you prefer static, or we're going to take little pulses. So drawing that right elbow down towards the ground, right armpit down towards the ground, and then a little bit up. Small movement. Exhale as you draw down. Inhale as you pull up. Watch for this going into the lower back. If it is, bend the knees a little more. Open up left side body. Focus on the side body. Bring it back to center. Bring your prayer back to heart. And notice left and right sides. Interlace the fingers. Send them up. Other side. So open up. So rather than thinking about getting further over to the left, thinking about up and over and lengthening the right side. Breathe. Inhale, open. Exhale, squeeze down a little bit towards the ground. Inhale up. Exhale, squeeze. Bring it back to center, prayer back to heart, and notice left and right sides again. Take your hands, place them on the back of your hips, so palm back behind you. Place your hands here, press your hands into your hips, and we're going to focus in on the neck. So slowly, imagine lengthening the crown of your head towards the ceiling. Watching for locking in the legs, you may want to just bend your knees a little just to keep out of the low back. Take the chin down towards the chest, feel the muscles at the back of the neck. And keeping this lock so you feel a little tension across the front of the shoulders. Take a head in a slow, 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 slow circle. And then return in the opposite direction. Slow. See if you can feel the muscles of the neck. And then bring the head back to neutral. Keeping this lock, keeping the shoulders nice and strong. Take the ear to a shoulder. Feel the opposite side of the neck. Back through neutral, over, other side. Back through neutral. Unlock the arms. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, prayer to heart. One more time. And then on the third time, take your prayer all the way through forward fold. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, prayer through center. And forward fold, let go. So find the position where you can release the most tension in the back and the neck. Maybe you bend the knees a little more. Maybe you rest your hands on a block. Breathe. Let go. Find your hands on the ground and step back through high plank and straight to down dog. We're going to do down dog push-ups. So make your hands a little bit wider than your regular down dog. Bend your knees a little bit and imagine your hips are going to be pulled towards the ceiling so you're super strong in the shoulders. And we're going to move, thinking about bringing the crown of our head towards the ground. So bend the elbows and bring the crown of the head towards the ground and back. Slow, controlled movement all in the shoulders. So if you're moving a lot in the spine, make the movement smaller. Take this into the shoulders. Strengthen the arms and shoulders. And then slowly make your way either to child's or crocodile, whichever you find most restorative. And take a little reset. Wherever you're at, make your way back to down dog. Find your down dog. Find your breath. Slowly lift the right leg up. Step through, this time warrior 2 feet. So drop the back foot and rise up, warrior 2. Find your base nice and strong. Peel the right knee open. Pull it open with the muscles of the leg. Try not to lock the left knee. And then imagine you can pull the thigh muscles back and around. Open up. We're going to slowly peel this right heel up. Lower, straighten the leg and go for reverse triangle. Back to warrior 2. Go as slow as you can. See how many muscles you can feel. Pull up the right heel. Slowly back, reverse triangle. So see how slow you can make this movement. How many muscles you can feel. Notice any holding patterns that you have. Notice if you lock the back leg. Notice if you pull into the lower back. Notice if your face is tense. And then find a regular warrior 2. So thinking about these muscles that we worked just before, maybe keeping your left hand here. We're going to come into half moon, really using these side muscles and both legs strong. You want to have your block just ahead of your foot. We're going to look just ahead of our right foot. We're going to bring our body weight over the right leg, nice and strong, and start to tip over, pop the back leg up. So, nice strong torso, maybe holding your fingertips on the ground. Left leg is very strong and powerful, like it's pushing through the wall. Stay steady with the muscles, the oblique muscles on the side of the torso, maybe floating up this right hand. Let's come up off the fingertips and float. And then challenge, see if you can slowly control the descent back down to warrior 2. Pivot on the back foot, frame out the front. Right foot meets left and then straight back to down dog. Find your breath. So we're going to work through the shoulders a little here. You may want to bend your knees deeply just to give yourself some space. We're going to think about our shoulders and think about opening our shoulders. So we're going to pull our shoulders around, opening up, which means we're going to bring our elbows out to the side and then draw our shoulder blades wide across our back. So we're squeezing our shoulder blades in and then drawing them back. So there are lots of rules about alignment in yoga, which is interesting because in all other sports and movement, there are no alignment rules. There are just ways the body can move and ways that we challenge it. So think about finding the muscles of the shoulders and moving them in a very different way. And maybe when you return to your down dog, maybe you find a slightly more comfortable version of down dog in your own shoulders and holding patterns. Breathe. And then finding a solid base in the arms, slowly lift the left leg. And step through for warrior two, feet dropping the back foot. Rise up, warrior two, other side. Nice and strong legs. Peel the knee open, the muscles of the thigh, and peel the thigh open on the other leg. Watch for gripping of the toes. Slowly peel the left heel up and down, seeing how many muscles you can feel making this movement happen. And then we're going to peel the heel up and slowly lower back to reverse triangle. Slow as you can go, mindful of the knees, paying attention that you're not locking the knees, that you're not squeezing into the neck or pulling on the face. You're not pulling on the low back. Stay focused, muscles. Find a regular warrior two. And then we're going to move into half moons. We're really thinking about those oblique muscles. Maybe grabbing your block. Slowly bring the weight over that front leg, looking down to where you want your hand to go. Slowly pull right leg up. Nice and strong. And then maybe peeling the left fingertips up off the ground, getting longer and longer and longer in the torso. Breathe. And then challenge to come down back to warrior two as slow as you can. And pivot on the back foot. Frame out the front. Plank through to down dog one last time. This time change your down dog up. Move your hands, move your feet, do something different, feel a different shape. And then just think about your inversion, your head being towards the ground and letting go. Bend both knees, look towards the hands, and we're going back to squat pose. So work your way up, grab your block, and turn towards the microphone. So find squat pose. And you can take this active or restorative. So you can place the block in underneath your hips and just take this restorative. So if you are going to push your hands into your legs, mindful of joints. Joints respond to force. So try to push back with your hands and back with your knees. You've got two forces going and you're not taking it into the joint but into the muscles. So opening up, a more restorative squat pose. If you'd like to work for today's challenge, we're going into crow. So we prepare for this. Thinking about getting your knees up on the shelf of your upper arm. Lift up as high as you can. Lift up onto the balls of your feet as high as you can. Land your hands down so that you can get your legs up as high and as close to the armpits as possible. Pull your chest into a cat shape. So your balance and your focus and your strength comes from the muscles of the chest and the shoulders, not by balancing in your arms. So you pull up from the chest and shoulders. So thinking about cat, cow. Cow is like this, cat is like this. You want that cat shape in your chest, pulling up. And then slowly tip forward. Peel up one toe at a time. And lift, and breathe, and hold. So if you can hold crow, and this is being something that's in your practice for a while, maybe you can begin to float onto one-legged crow. So bringing the weight more onto the right leg and lifting the left knee up off the left. I can't do it today because my pants are too slippery. So bringing it into one side. Slow, slow, slow. Starting to lift one leg up and then onto the other side. And then when you're done playing, make your way to an easy seat. So come down to an easy seat. Try to find both hips on the ground. Find your sits bones. And here's that focus point again. So our sits bones are the two bones down that we're supposed to sit on. And oftentimes, because of adjustments in our sacrum, they're not even. So see if you can feel around in your hips and see if you're actually sitting even. Maybe even taking your hands to your hips, giving a wiggle, noticing what is present. Bring your focus here. So thinking about the base of your spine, seeing if the base is stable and even. And then thinking about going up the spine as if you're going up one vertebrae at a time and giving a little movement, a little lengthening, a little opening. Noticing where perhaps you hold your own tension. So noticing if it's in upper spine, if it's in around the shoulders, maybe it's all in the low back. But we're focusing and bringing all of our awareness, getting to know, and then return to the breath. Nice slow breath in, maybe even singing that intention from the start of the practice to yourself. And then even slower, softer, steadier breath out. If you generated some heat in the body in this practice, feel free to bring in a cooling breath. So opening your mouth into the shape of an O and breathing in through the shape of an O. And then just softening out. Letting the breath come out however it feels natural. And then we'll focus in a little more in on the neck. This time we're going to lock our hands by sitting on our hands. So if you can, sit on your hands, lock your hands. So lock the shoulders. Make sure it's not going into your lower back. If this is too much, don't take it into your lower back. And then we're going to take that same head circle as slow as you can. Try to bring all your focus to your neck. See if this feels different, better, worse. Everybody's body is different. Notice what your body feels when you lock the shoulders and make this movement back in the other direction. And then head back to neutral. Bring the arms out even with the shoulders. Roll the shoulder one at a time forward and then back. Like a corkscrew spiral. Roll through the shoulders, starting to let go. Loosen the hands. And then we're going to do focus beam. So this is a reset for the mind. So sitting in a comfortable position. If an easy seat is not your most comfortable, change your seated position. We're going to work with eyes and direction of sight. So we're going to turn our head all the way over towards the right. We're going to take our eyes and look as far right and up as we possibly can. So stretching your eyes, remember eyes have muscles too, reaching, looking, focusing on the furthest point away from you, up and right. See what you can focus on. Leaving your eyes where they are. This is supposed to feel strange. You're going to slowly bring your chin back to neutral. So leaving your eyesight, looking up and right, slowly as you can, bring your chin back to neutral. You may stutter with your head, and it may feel very, very, very strange. Bring your head back to neutral and then close your eyes, reset, and just notice what might be present. If you have any overwhelming, any dizziness, anything, bring your hands to prayer and bring a little touch of the back of your thumbs to the forehead just to help you reset. And then open your eyes and take your chin all the way to the left and look up and left as far as you can. Challenging your eyes, find something to focus on. And then as slow as you can, bring your chin back to neutral without changing and looking forward with your eyes. Your eyes are going to want to do the work for you. They don't want to let your chin move without your eyes. So notice what happens. And then close your eyes when you get back to neutral. Notice what is present. And then again, working with points of focus, we're going to take any thumb out in front of us. We're going to look at our thumb, really focus and find all of the details of this thumb. So really see the nail, the thumb, and then find a point far away from your thumb as possible, but just somewhere you can put your thumb on. So take a point. I have a statue just behind us. I'm going to put my thumb just over his head, and then I'm going to focus on the thumb, and then leave the thumb and focus on the head. So switching back and forth, changing your focus, back and forth, thumb to something in the distance, and then back. Practicing actively working your eyes and your vision. Noticing if this is difficult. And then leaving your thumb exactly where it is. Switch places with the other thumb. So switch thumbs. And then practice the same thing. Focusing on the thumb and then the thing far in the distance and back. Noticing if one thumb is easier than the other. And then letting your thumb come down, and even closing your eyes. Slowly make your way down to your back. And all the hard work is done, so celebrate. Maybe grab your props before you come down. If you need your blanket or anything for your resting pose. We're going to do a few more relaxation techniques and then go down into our resting pose. So bring your knees in. A little wiggle on your low back, start to land on the ground. And bring your feet down, knees up, and let the natural curves happen in your back. So don't tilt the pelvis and pull the low back down, but let your back be comfortable and natural. Find your breath. And then we're going to take the palm of our hand. Hopefully you washed your hands. If you didn't, you're going to just land your hand on your hairline. Take it just below your hairline if your hands are clean. And you're going to pull the skin of your forehead towards the hairline. And notice how that feels. So just a gentle tug as if you're pulling your palm of your hand back into your hair without letting it lose contact with the skin of the face. Notice how this feels and see if you can bring all of your awareness to the skin of the forehead. See if you can focus only in on what is happening to your forehead right now. Practice single point focus. And then without changing the grip on your hand, draw the hand back down towards the eyebrows. So we're not really moving the hand, we're just moving the skin. Notice how this feels on the forehead. Notice if you start to grip in around your chin and the muscles of the jaw. Notice if there's anything going on in the back of the head. And then slowly let that go. Let the arm return to the ground and find a place where your shoulders can find the ground. And notice what is present. What is present that is different from when you began? Make a decision for where you would like to be for your resting pose, be it full corpse, be it keeping your feet down and your knees up. Maybe you want an entirely different position, so making an assessment of where your body would like to be. And whatever props you may want to use, start to settle into the ground. I'm going to read from the Radiant Sutras today. So first, before we land on the ground, I'll just explain that the sutras were written in an ancient language that was a very poetic, sing-songy language, and the vibrations of the words were as important as the words themselves. So these words were really meant to be heard with the whole body, the spirit, the soul, and not really with the cognitive head. So maybe the words resonate and spark a cognitive thought, a cognitive experience for you, and that's fine. But there are no right or wrong translations. There are no right or wrong experiences from this. So try to let that go. Try to let that desperation to understand the universe and everything, life, the universe and everything. The answer is 42 if anyone's curious. Try to let that go and feel with the whole spirit. So as you're landing in on the ground, try to bring your focus in a rolling focus around the physical body. Whether you like to start at the crown of the head or the toes, try to send your focus around the body as if you're trying to check in on each and every cell of the body. So I like to say that the body is constantly whispering to us, constantly telling us what's going on. We're not listening, and typically we don't listen until the body is screaming or it really has something to say. So take these moments to check in, to notice what is present without judgment, but just feel and be present and notice. See if you can send a little more softness to any locations that you typically hold tension in. See if you remember to soften the muscles in the skin on the face. See if you remember to soften around your breath and allow the breath to flow however it wishes to flow, as if it were the waves of the ocean rolling in and rolling out. This journey begins here with whatever is capturing your attention. Are you gazing at patterns on some wall? Are you daydreaming about a celebrity? Is there someone you love and long to cling to? Disappear into a soul who is a chalice for beauty to pour into the world. Whatever your focus, give your whole being. Gradually, step by step, the infinity from which you both have emerged will encompass you with blessing. As you're laying here, letting go, you're in a wonderful place and you need to tune me out. Feel free to tune me out and restore in your own meditation. If you feel the distractions of the world and the thoughts pulling you constantly out of resting in, begin to imagine the mind, the cognitive mind, as a tool for your environment. And rather than trying to control the thoughts or beat the thoughts into submission, or even understand the many firing, inconsistent thoughts of the mind, think about gently practicing moving focus. Maybe you have an object you can visualize in your mind. Maybe you can focus on just one physical part of your body. And it's not that you constantly and perfectly get it right. It's that you constantly practice. Notice when the thoughts have pulled you back and pulled all your focus back to the thoughts and firing of the mind, and then gently return your focus to something else. It's not that the thoughts disappear. It's not that we get rid of them. It's that we draw our focus towards something else. And if you find an image or an object that brings you a sense of joy and peace, painting that image or object more and more reaffirms and makes more solid this practice. Oftentimes people think of a flower or an image of a sunset, perhaps a happy puppy, something that they can really visually picture and draw in their mind's eye. The more that you return to it, the more beautiful it becomes, and the more the experience of calmness is easier to get to. It's like making a little familiar pathway in the woods. The more that you walk on it, the easier it is to find. So whenever you practice these focus practices and you find something that works, paint in the details and remind yourself to store the details for next time before you slowly return back to present moment. And if you need to finish up at the 60-minute mark, we are right on 60 minutes. Begin to bring your awareness back to the present moment and make your way into a fetal position. On whatever side is calling to you, just grounding down and returning to this fetal position. And taking a moment to think about the fetal position reminds us of a time in the womb when all of our needs were met. And we had not judged ourselves as negative or positive. We were simply a spark of life. So think about that spark of life being ever present within us, unchanged by our experiences, waiting for us to connect within and recharge. And just as that meditative practice is a familiar pattern, so too are these familiar postures. And then slowly make your way to a seated position, hands of prayer at heart space. And taking one more moment to honor that inner wisdom within. And then from this space, send out a little kindness and compassion either to someone in particular or just out from this space to anyone in general who might need it at this moment. Knowing that teaching ourselves love and compassion for ourselves first, and then sharing it with others makes the whole experience stronger, makes it easier for us to return to giving self-acceptance and compassion. May we all be wrapped in a bunch of compassion and kindness and extend it out to others throughout our day. Thanks for joining us.